Why are you saying bye to Sam?
Don't like me?
What's up, Ferrer fam? It's your boy John Ferrer. Oh, okay, the camera is right there. So I'm using my new Lumix G7 to do this vlog, which I'm really stoked about. Today we're going to... Where are we going today?
You suck!
Today we're going to Mount Vernon, which is the home of George Washington. So if you're not from the DC area and you're not familiar with Mount Vernon, you're about to see the original home of our first president. Now the reason we're going there is not because we just decided to go there. It's actually my company's Christmas gathering. I'm gonna vlog it. JC, why are you doing all that running? So again, I'm really stoked about using this new camera and it's really awesome. I'm gonna do a review video of this camera just to let you know how it's been working for me. You're carrying your potty chair? Where are you taking your potty chair, JC? That belongs in the bathroom. Oh, you can bring it to the bathroom. Oh yeah, you're gonna need the potty in there. So in all of my videos I've been vlogging with my phone, my Samsung Galaxy 8 Plus. So using this camera is a big upgrade for me, and it's part of the reason why I'm so excited to use it. But I'm still gonna use my phone to vlog sometimes, especially if there is like bad weather outside or certain situations where I don't want to use my camera, my bigger camera here. So I'll be vlogging with the smartphone on occasion. Now that I have this camera, I'm gonna be using this definitely a lot more. But with my I got a new lens for my smartphone. It's from Moment, and I'll also be doing a video on me using that. So yeah, that's a little tech update from me. I'm so not used to this camera. Has a full articulating screen, so I can see myself here. But I'm always glancing at the screen, and then I realize that, you know, the lens is right here, so I need to be looking at the lens, not the screen. So my bad if you see me going like this a lot. I'm still getting used to the fact that I can see myself, which is really cool. I like that I can see myself in the frame versus just staring at my phone and not knowing if I'm in frame or not. So that's cool. And if you like what you're seeing with this camera, and you like the footage and you like the pictures, the link is down below where you can purchase this camera. So click the link down below. Click, 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 click. We are here at Mount Vernon.
Oh, sorry.
And I'm getting tripped on. We're headed to the Mount Vernon Library right now, which is this place over here, and there's gonna be like a little presentation happening or something, and hopefully we can get in, because it looks like they're having trouble getting in.
What we are going to do, we at once are going to all walk down as a big group to the front of the library. In our reading room, Mark Santangelo is going to greet us. He's, again, our chief librarian and archivist, and Sam Snyder is our access services librarian. I think we might be small enough to do two groups. We're going to have to go like page.
Normally, the library is not open on Saturdays, and their staff has accommodated for this sort of special event. So thanks for the
Of course, we're happy.
and the rest of the staff too. We're going to have lunch, very nice buffet in the Mount Vernon Inn.
After that cool little introduction, we're going to another part of the library. This is nice. This is this facility, this library is actually new to Mount Vernon. The speaker, I don't remember the lady's name, she said it's been here for only a couple years, Is that what she said? I don't remember.
Yeah, it's pretty new. They usually keep it locked, like it's closed for the public.
We're actually getting treated to a special thing here today because normally it would be closed.
But then some fun facts about this space. I don't know if Melissa shared anything. Nope. Is that the wood that you see on the wall is actually from one tree. It stretches most of the first floor.
And I think in the store you could actually, can you buy
Also available in the shop. Yes,
Also
you can buy
available.
it.
some of the whiskey with his original
Yeah.
the recipe, basically?
I'll warn you though, the original recipe is that's tough. It's like moonshine. It's very
It's
strong.
not aged.
Yeah. So the unaged, but then we also have an aged version of the whiskey it's delightful. Today, all of the mansion, the way it's furnished, the way it's been preserved, that is as up to date based off of the historical records we know as of today. So you'll see some things in there. We've had some recent room renovations that might surprise you actually. We've got some very bright, some very vivid wallpaper in a couple of those rooms, and it is as accurate as we know it to be, but again, quite surprising to see once you get in there.
This is a unique opportunity to share this space with you because ordinarily we get between about 1 million people who come to Mount Vernon a year. They go through the turnstile to see the mansion, the gardens, the grist mill, and they don't get to see the library because we want to maintain a working library. So in order to do that, we say, we're going to have the gates up and we're going to be open by appointment only. But even so, to get into this, through this big door, into this space, you have to, we don't qualify our users, but you have to have an extra demonstrated need. Because what we do here is we would set you up at one of these tables and we would put an actual George Washington letter right in front of you if you needed to study it. But in this room, we have a number of books that belong to some of the family members after the death of George and Martha. Over here, to my left is a coin. The oldest coin would be 1932, which represents the bicentennial of George Washington's birth. But front and center, I have to point out this beautiful Rembrandt Peale porthole portrait of George Washington. Now, you may be familiar with this because the artist has painted about 70 of these, and one, of course, is in the Oval Office. In addition, what we have done here in Mount Vernon, we have made copies of this and have installed them in schools, museums, and libraries across the country. So that's also why I may be familiar. This is unique because this is, I believe, the only one in which the artist not only paints the painting, but designs the frame. And that's very rare in art history when you see that combination. So you can look at the frame and get a little bit of extra interpretation. For example, the laurel leaves up at the top. In the Greco-Roman tradition, that was a triumph of victory. And these are symbols, fascia on the side, and that meant symbols of power. So you take a look at the frame and you see inside the painting, the smoke and the flames, you know that the artist is talking about the Revolutionary War. Resisted the crown. They wanted to make him king. He says, no, I'm not doing that. But he has it on his family's crest for whatever reason. And then he has the results are the test of the action, and that was the family motto written in the Latin. Just to the right of that bas-relief, we have 103 books that belong to George and Martha. Those 103 were books that used to be in the mansion during their lifetime, and they were actively read.
What's the division of documents between this library and the Library of Congress?
We collect mostly the early years of George Washington, the young George Washington. We also collect around the presidency. So we don't do too much within the Revolutionary War time period. Whereas Library of Congress will collect all, front and center, birth to death. and legacy as well. We collect legacy too. I think the best way to answer that question though is when you look at the numbers. We're a small library. George Washington, if you look at the total correspondence both to and from George Washington, you're looking at a number of 130,000 items. Now, the Library of Congress has about 65,000 of those items. We've got about 1,800. The topic of Don Quixote comes up, and Washington felt very left out of the conversation. He hadn't read it, he wasn't familiar with it, but of course Franklin was. Not only that, so he, Franklin, and the ambassador are conversant probably in Spanish, knowing Franklin, all about Don Quixote, and Washington felt left out of the conversation. So much so that several months later, Washington is back in Philadelphia for the signing of the Constitution, and he writes in his journal that at midday they take a break, probably to get some soup and sandwiches. Washington instead stumbles into a bookstore, and he picks up the English edition of Don Quixote. It's a 4-volume set, the Cliff Notes version, much smaller, abridged, but nonetheless, it's on his mind. And he reads that because we know that one of the volumes was on his nightstand the night he died.
Do you like the statue, JC?
Yeah, it's a statue.
Say bye-bye, statues. What are you saying bye to Sam?
Don't like me?
She's nice.
So we're going to lunch now, right?
Yes.
That's good, because we're hungry, right, JC? So that was a cool tour of the library. We learned a lot about George Washington, particularly the books he read and a lot of the letters he wrote. That was pretty interesting. I really liked the handwriting of people back then. It was very artful, like calligraphy almost, compared to how people write today, especially my handwriting, my chicken scratch. Exactly, because we're so used to typing now. We don't write. No one writes anymore. No. That's a lost art for sure. That's really cool that we're able to take that little VIP tour of the library. It's pretty awesome. Oh, and we got free tickets to tour George Washington's mansion, so that should be fun. Because the last time we came here, we didn't get to do that, so thanks to my company. Oh, that was awesome.